The voice that defined a generation went silent for a decade. Now, Jessica is back with a 2026 comeback that is shaking the industry to its core. Imagine having one of the most powerful voices in the world and then suddenly, almost overnight, choosing to go quiet. For years, fans have been asking the same question: what happened to Jessica? After a decade of being the vocalist to watch, 2026 is finally the year the silence ends. But the artist returning isn't the same girl we saw on the American Idol stage. This upcoming album isn't just a collection of songs. It's a calculated response to years of industry gatekeeping and personal reinvention. If you went looking for the voice that defined a generation this morning, you likely found a digital ghost town, and that's exactly what she wanted. The landscape of pop culture shifted overnight when the accounts belonging to Jessica didn't just go quiet, they vanished. In the world of high-stakes music marketing, a total digital wipe is the equivalent of a nuclear reset. For months, the only thing filling the void was a single, flickering date, 2026. As a reporter tracking these movements, the precision of this rollout suggests something far more complex than a standard album cycle. We are witnessing the systematic deconstruction of a pageant-perfect persona that the industry forced upon her since she was a teenager. The old image is being buried to make room for an architect of sound. Sources close to the production camp suggest that the 2026 launch was timed specifically to coincide with the expiration of restrictive legacy contracts that have effectively kept her voice locked for years. This isn't just a marketing gimmick, it is a declaration of independence. While her contemporaries were busy chasing viral snippets, was reportedly hidden away in a private studio, stripping away the polished, safe layers of her previous work. The tension among these is reaching a fever pitch because for the first time in over a decade, no one actually knows what she sounds like. The silence wasn't a retreat, it was a tactical withdrawal. By removing every trace of her past from the internet, she has forced the world to look forward. But the empty grids and deleted photos were only a distraction from a much darker battle happening behind the scenes. Behind the curtain of the world's biggest record labels, a gold-plated cage was allegedly built to keep one of the industry's greatest assets from ever truly being heard. Investigative reports into the missing years of Jessica's career reveal a narrative of intense friction with high-level executives. For years, rumors have circulated about a creative stalemate, where the artist refused to record the generic bubblegum pop her handlers demanded. In the industry, when an artist refuses to play ball, they are often shelved, a practice where a label refuses to release an artist's music but won't let them out of their contract either. Our sources indicate that spent a significant portion of the early 2020s navigating a legal minefield to avoid being permanently silenced. This wasn't just a career lull, it was a fight for the very soul of her music. There are whispers of unfavorable agreements signed in her youth that she had to carefully dismantle piece by piece before 2026 could even be an option. This explains the long gaps in her discography that left fans frustrated and confused. While the public saw a singer who had faded, the reality was a woman in a high-stakes legal chess match against some of the most powerful people in Hollywood. The upcoming 2026 album is being produced under a new, fiercely independent structure, ensuring that every cent and every note belongs to her. This shift is shaking the table in the industry, as it provides a blueprint for other artists who find themselves trapped in similar arrangements. The 2026 release is more than a comeback, it's a victory lap for an artist who refused to be a puppet. Accusations surfaced in private circles that she was difficult to work with, but in hindsight, it's clear she was just protecting her vision from being diluted by corporate greed. With the chains finally broken, the music she's been hiding is rumored to be something the industry never expected. If you're expecting another collection of soaring power ballads, you might want to brace yourself for a total system shock. Internal memos from those who have been granted early access to the 2026 masters describe the sound as unrecognizable compared to her previous work. We are hearing reports of a pivot toward a gritty Alt-R&B landscape, heavy on bass, light on the theatrical vibrato we've come to expect. This is a deliberate move to distance herself from the karaoke queen labels that have haunted her since her reality TV days. The news from the studio is that Jessica has been experimenting with vocal distortion, spoken word elements, and ambient noir textures that align more with modern icons than her traditional inspirations. Critics are already speculating that this move is a massive gamble. If she loses her core ballad-loving audience, she has to hope the new crowd is ready to welcome her. However, the data suggests that her most loyal followers aren't just looking for high notes, they are looking for the truth. The 2026 sound is described as dark, moody, and unapologetically raw. It deals with the complexities of adulthood in a way that her previous sanitized image never allowed. This isn't music designed for the radio, it's music designed for a revolution. She is reportedly using her voice as an instrument of texture rather than just a powerhouse belt, proving that she has the technical skill to dominate any genre she touches. The boldness of this sonic shift is already creating ripples in the industry, with some calling it the most daring re-entry of the decade. She isn't just changing her clothes, she is changing the vibration of her entire career. But a change this radical requires allies, and the names being whispered in connection to this project are legendary. There's a reason the studio doors have been under 24-hour security. The guest list for this album reads like a secret society of musical titans. While the official press release is still months away, our investigative team has tracked several high-profile movements at elite recording studios in both Los Angeles and Seoul. There is substantial evidence to suggest that the 2026 album features a cross-continental syndicate of producers. Specifically, ties to major K-pop architects and underground West Coast R&B legends have surfaced. The rumors suggest that Jessica is leaning heavily into her heritage, blending global sounds to create a universal pop record that transcends borders. One particular leak mentioned a collaboration with a former mentor, someone who saw her potential early on, but was prevented from working with her due to label politics in the past. If the rumors of a Yo reunion are true, we could be looking at a vocal that balances the old school with the new. But it doesn't stop there. Speculation is rife about a mystery feature from a chart-topping rapper who is known for only working with serious vocalists. The secrecy surrounding these features is unprecedented, with non-disclosure agreements being handed out to anyone entering the studio. This vault-like security suggests that the collaborations aren't just for clout. They are integral to a story she's trying to tell. This 2026 project is being built as a prestige record, designed to win awards and command respect rather than just dominate the charts for a week. By aligning herself with tastemakers rather than hitmakers, Jessica is positioning herself as an artist who cannot be ignored by the Recording Academy or the global elite. However, all the success in the world can't erase the internal cost of staying silent for so long. Beyond the lights and the luxury, there's a human cost to being a prodigy who was told to wait her turn for over a decade. In our reporting, we've looked closely at the psychological narrative Jessica has been threading through her new lyrics. The missing years weren't just a legal battle, they were a period of intense rehabilitation from the pressures of fame. In the industry, the term burnout is often used as a euphemism for much deeper struggles. Jessica has subtly hinted at a time when she, her old self, to survive, a metaphorical death that allowed her to rebuild from the ground up. There were periods of total isolation where she reportedly questioned if she even liked the sound of her own voice anymore. This emotional audit is the heartbeat of the 2026 album. We're hearing that several tracks deal directly with the gaslighting she experienced from older figures in the industry who tried to tell her who she should be. Her mental wellness journey was a primary reason for the extended hiatus. She wasn't just away, she was recovering from the toxic environment of early celebrity culture. The 2026 release is her testimony. It's about the scars left by a manufactured childhood and the triumph of finding self-worth outside of a TV screen. This vulnerability is her new superpower. By being honest about the lows and the moments she nearly gave it all up, she's connecting with a generation that values authenticity over perfection. The 2026 project is effectively a public healing, and the resonance of that message could be the very thing that catapults her back to the top of the cultural conversation. And as she steps back into the light, the world is waiting to see if she can handle the heat of the global stage once more. If the 2026 album is the spark, the world tour is being described as a total inferno that will claim the global stage. Logistical reports show that stadium-sized venues across Southeast Asia and North America have been soft-booked for the latter half of 2026. This isn't a small club tour to test the waters. This is a stadium-ready assault on the music industry. The scale of the production is rumored to be cinematic, utilizing augmented reality and immersive soundscapes to tell the story of her rebirth. The Jessica 2 experience is being marketed as the vocal event of the year. For fans across the Asian diaspora and the United States, this is the second coming they've been praying for. Our news desk has seen reports that ticket demand could rival some of the biggest names in the game, purely because of the scarcity factor. People have been hungry for this for over 10 years. The tour is expected to bridge the gap between her classic fans and the new alternative audience she is courting. But there is a high-wire act happening here. The pressure of a global tour after such a long break is immense. Can her voice and, more importantly, her spirit handle the relentless grind of the road again? Industry insiders are watching closely to see if she can maintain the independence she fought so hard for once the big machine of a global tour kicks in. The 2026 tour will be the ultimate proof of concept. Can an artist truly disappear for a decade and return stronger than ever? Everything has led to this moment, but the final verdict won't be delivered by the labels or the critics. Jessica's 2026 comeback isn't just about music. It's about the survival of an artist in a world that tries to dispose of them as soon as the next trend arrives. She has navigated the darkest alleys of Hollywood, fought through legal blockades, and completely reconstructed her identity. Whether this album tops the charts or remains a cult masterpiece, the mission has already been accomplished. Jessica has proven that you don't have to stay visible to stay valuable. As 2026 approaches, the air is thick with anticipation and a little bit of fear that we weren't ready for the truth she's about to tell. But after years of waiting, perhaps the truth is exactly what we need. When the needle finally drops on that first track, remember, this isn't a return to form. This is a new beginning for a woman who refused to stay buried. The world is watching, the stage is set, and the silence is finally over. What happens next will define her legacy forever.